How could a loving God send someone to hell? Such a tough question, right? Hell's such a horrible place. We know from the Bible itself that hell is not a place that I would want to go. So how do we swallow? How do we come to a place where we can reconcile that God is loving and that people will spend eternity in hell? Well, this is just the humble musings of myself. Certainly I have biblical principles, but let me just kind of explain my basic theories on this. Hell's a natural consequence. That's the most basic that I could possibly break it down to. Hell is a natural consequence. See, when you go to the Grand Canyon, if you walk too close to the edge and you slip and you fall into the Grand Canyon, you're going to die. It's the natural consequence of being reckless around the Grand Canyon. And see, nobody gets mad at the Grand Canyon. Nobody says, ooh, the Grand Canyon must be evil, right? It's done nothing to show that it's evil. It's done nothing to show that it's good. It just is. So if hell is a natural consequence, what's it a natural consequence of? Well, it's the natural consequence of choosing against God. You say, well, wait a second. I never made a choice. No, you made a choice. You always make a choice. If you don't see the signs or hear the warnings, then you chose against God. Now, God is loving. He's so loving that he will not force you to spend eternity with him singing, holy, holy, holy is the Lord God Almighty. He's not going to do that. But here's the deal. He's just embedding himself in this most amazing place where he will make all things new, and he's called it heaven in the Bible, and the believers will celebrate him, and everything will be about God. He's not going to force you to go there. But that means that there's only one other option. See, you're either for God or you're against God. And so if you're not going to be willing to be with God, then your other option is not being with God. Well, if God is all the goodness, all the great things, which we can see represented in this world, if it's good, if it's great, it's God. If it's bad and it's nasty, it's evil. I know that seems very simple, but that's how it is. And we break that same concept down to heaven and hell. If it's amazing and it's about God and it's a celebration, then it's heaven. If it's the absence of any of that and it's a horrible place to be, then it's hell. And so God's saying, hey, man, I'm not going to force you to go to a place where it will be like torture to you. Can you imagine you spent your entire life saying with your actions anyway that you don't want to have any part of God? And some people say it just verbally and spew it vehemently. I don't want to have any part of God. And so then can you imagine the torture that would be if God forced you to come to heaven for eternity? It would be torture. So he won't force that. He'll give you what you wanted, which unfortunately is torture in and of itself because there's nothing good there. All the people that lie and cheat and steal, you think they're not going to lie and cheat and steal in hell? They're left to their depravity. They're left to their own ways. It's a horrible thing. But here's the deal, guys. Just like there's signs around the Grand Canyon warning us, saying, hey, be careful, be cautious. There's a long drop ahead of you. God has asked us as believers to help to be that warning. God has written it into creation, it says in Romans, that there is a warning. There's an understanding that we need to answer to God. And so God has given opportunities. And not only that, the Bible tells us that for all have sinned and fall short of the glory of God. But he sent his son so that any of us might make it to heaven. So if anyone gets to heaven, it's because God loved us so much, because we were all destined in our own bad ways for hell. I know it's a lot of material to cover in 4.5 minutes, squeezing it in, but here's the basics, guys, that God gets to be God. And if you have questions that go deeper than that, please feel free, leave them in the comments section. I will definitely respond to them, maybe make a new video based on those. But if this was helpful, please like, share, subscribe, whatever you can do to help grow the channel. I'm out.